Have you ever felt that electric hum in your bones, like something monumental is about to unfold on the gridiron? Hello, Bears News. Fan Report crew, if you live and breathe Chicago football, you know we're on the edge of our seats tonight. Now, before we dive headfirst into this roller coaster of speculation, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of this wild ride. Imagine a storyline ripped straight from a Hollywood script. A young athlete arrives in the Windy City under the radar, carrying the weight of expectations and the scars of past doubts. He's spent years toiling in obscurity, honing his craft under relentless scrutiny, and now he's poised for an explosive emergence that threatens to rewrite the narrative of our entire offense. Could this be the renaissance we've been craving? Could Chicago's attack finally evolve from mercurial flashes to a relentless, fearsome juggernaut? Let's rewind to last season, when our beloved Bears offense sputtered and stalled, surrendering sack after sack, failing to sustain drives and leaving fans gasping for more than fleeting moments of brilliance. The front office scrambled to shore up the line, the coaching staff tweaked schemes, and the quarterback tried valiantly to spark one scintillating play after another. Yet something was missing, an intangible spark that transforms good units into great ones, that elevates heroes and creates legends. Fast forward to this offseason's bold moves, flashes of promise in free agency, strategic draft investments, and whispers around Halas Hall that the tides are turning. Analysts are already speculating about a secret weapon buried within our depth chart, someone whose physicality rivals the fiercest guards in the league and whose football IQ has been, compared to the all-time greats. Could he be the linchpin who stabilizes the pocket? Is he the key to unlocking a ground game so punishing that defenses will cower at the mere thought of our backfield? But what if I told you the true marvel isn't just brute strength? This mystery figure has navigated setbacks, injuries, coaching, changes, media skepticism, and emerged with an unshakable resolve. Think back to those film clips where he chiseled apart defenders at the point of attack, or the heart-stopping moments when he executed a perfectly timed blitz pickup that saved a touchdown. Now, imagine that same grit and technique week after week, anchoring our line and giving our playmakers the breathing room they need to shine. Fans are already buzzing. Could this be the beginning of a Bears dynasty? They whisper on message boards. Is it possible that Chicago's running backs will average over 5 yards per carry next season? Some dare to hope. Even rival scouts are scratching their heads, wondering how an unheralded rookie, or is he, could vault to the top of depth charts so swiftly. Some insiders believe this player's combination of explosiveness and football savvy might be the secret formula for long-awaited consistency. Let's sprinkle in some cold, hard numbers. In college, this young phenom led his conference in pancake, blocks, allowed virtually 0 pressures per pass attempt, and graded out among the nation's elite in run-block efficiency. Then came the pre-draft buzz. Teams clamored to interview him, marveling at his leadership in the meeting rooms and his film room discipline. Yet here in Chicago, we got him later than most expected. Was it a stroke of genius by our front office to trade down and snatch him off the board? Or will other executives be regretting that sleep on his talent? Now, picture the first game of the season. The camera pans to our revamped offensive line, and there he stands, unflappable, eyes locked on the defense, ready to unleash chaos on anyone who dares reach our quarterback. Every snap feels like a declaration. We're here to dominate. That kind of confidence is contagious. Could his presence inspire our tackles to sharpen their technique? Might our interior line gel into an unstoppable unit, churning out, rushing lanes and shutting down even the most fearsome pass rushers? And here's where the hero's journey truly unfolds. Our protagonist was never handed glory. He earned it through midnight workouts, extra film sessions, and a refusal to accept good enough. He's battled discouragement when coaches, questioned his fit, he's rebounded from nagging injuries, and he's carried the weight of his hometown's skepticism. Now, standing on the cusp of superstardom, he has the chance to transform not only his own destiny, but the fate of this franchise. So, who is this mystery force set to reshape Chicago's offense? Hold on to that question just a bit longer, because the moment of truth, the big reveal, is coming up in our next segment. You won't want to miss the name that could echo through Soldier Field for years to come. Now, if you're hungry for the full story, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, and drop a comment letting us know you're locked in, because it's time to unveil our secret weapon, guard Declan Doyle. Yes, Declan Doyle, the under-the-radar lineman who's about to redefine what fearsome means in Chicago's backfield. Picture his entrance onto the field. A 6'4", 330-pound force of nature with the quick feet of a tight end, the hand placement of a surgeon, and the low center of gravity leverage of a championship wrestler. When he steps into his stance, every defender across the line watches with just enough hesitation to shift out of position, an instinctive, split-second concession that gives our quarterback the extra blink of time needed to find his target. But Doyle's impact goes well, beyond brute strength. He's the kind of player who studies every snap like a blockbuster movie, anticipating blitzes before they materialize and adjusting his blocking angles with a maestro's precision. Remember that bowl game last season when he stonewalled a blitzing linebacker on a 3rd and long, holding his ground so immovable it felt like he'd welded himself to the grass? Moments like that aren't flukes. They're the result of hundreds of hours in the film room, dissecting opponents' tendencies, perfecting hand strikes, and rehearsing escape routes in the event of a stunt. Imagine what that level of preparation can mean for Caleb Williams. Instead of dancing to avoid pressure, he'll drop back in a pocket that feels as secure as a vault, eyes scanning for targets like DJ Moore streaking down the sideline or Colston Loveland flexing his arms for a jump ball catch. Could this be the catalyst that lets Chicago's passing game blossom into one of the league's most explosive aerial attacks? Is it possible that our 3rd down conversion rate skyrockets now that Doyle's picket line is holding firm? The statistics from his college days back up these dreams. In his final season, he allowed pressures on just 3.2% of pass block snaps, an elite figure matched by only a handful of NFL starters. On the ground, his impact is equally profound. With Doyle carving out rushing lanes, our backfield duo of Roschon Johnson and veteran DeAndre Swift could average over 5 yards per carry, turning short yardage situations into surefire first downs. Think about the momentum swings. 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and win. Chew the clock drives grow into 12-play marches, and our defense gets crucial breathers instead of being dragged back onto the field cold. Fans are already speculating whether we could finish the season ranked in the top 5 for rushing offense, something Bears supporters haven't seen in decades. Beyond the X's and O's, Doyle brings that intangible leadership you can't coach, a workman's humility, an underdog's scrappy mindset, and a hunger to prove the doubters wrong. In the locker room, he's been spotted leading film breakdowns for younger linemen, pointing out leverage techniques or footwork tweaks, and reminding every teammate that every snap counts. Some insiders believe his presence alone could elevate the collective mentality, turning a once inconsistently coached line into a brotherhood of disciplined warriors. Could this be the spark that transforms Chicago's trench warfare from a liability into a celebrated strength? Of course, every hero's journey faces its trials. Doyle remains relatively untested against the league's absolute elite edge rushers. Over a 17-game grind, will he maintain this level of play under the bright lights of primetime games? Can he stay healthy when he's taking on double teams and churning out angered defenders missing their mark? These are the questions that will define his rookie season. But if he conquers these tests, Bears Kingdom could be witnessing the birth of a generational anchor, a lineman whose name is whispered in the same breath as the franchise's all-time greats. So here we stand, on the brink of Chicago's most promising era in years, energized by a rookie whose story mirrors our own hopes and dreams. Declan Doyle's journey has only just begun, and if it unfolds as many are predicting, we could look back and see this moment as the turning point in Bears history. But what do you think? Are you convinced that Doyle can become the anchor this offense desperately needed? Or do you foresee growing pains as he acclimates to the NFL's relentless pace? Share your take in the comments below. I'm dying to hear where your excitement meets your skepticism. Personally, I'm buzzing with optimism. With Doyle carving out his legacy on the line, I truly believe we're about to see Chicago football elevated to heights we've only dreamed of. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, and ring that notification bell so you're first to know when we bring you the latest news, analysis, and insider scoops. Let's ride this wave together. Go Bears!